This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Good evening. Happy Wednesday. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler, and today is January 13th.
Well, the House, with some GOP support, votes to impeach Donald Trump a historic second time. The president has been impeached for inciting an insurrection against the government, and 10 Republicans joined Democrats to do so. Senator Mitch McConnell said he would not agree to use emergency powers to bring the Senate back into session for a trial before January 19th.
Nevada Highway Patrol is trying to figure out what caused the death of a driver this morning in Pahrump.
Police and medic units were dispatched to Highway 160 across from Phantom Fireworks around 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. Witnesses say a Jeep SUV crossed into oncoming traffic, struck another vehicle, then went off the roadway, eventually coming to a stop against a pile of gravel. The male driver was found to be unresponsive, and medics began administering CPR. He did not survive. Witnesses report seeing the driver passed out behind the wheel as it veered into oncoming traffic. Troopers are investigating whether he may have suffered from some type of medical condition which led to the crash. The driver of the vehicle which was struck by the out-of-control SUV did not claim any injuries.
And Nevada Highway Patrol has released new information about a deadly crash last week in northern Nye County.
2 people died January 6th when a Toyota minivan and Ford F-250 pickup collided head-on Nevada 376 between U.S. Route 6 and Round Mountain. NHP's preliminary investigation has determined that the Toyota was traveling northbound, the pickup southbound. For unknown reasons, investigators say the minivan crossed into the northbound lane where it struck the pickup head-on. The driver and left rear passenger in the minivan died at the scene. The remaining 3 passengers were transported to a Reno hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the pickup was also taken to a Reno hospital in critical condition. Their passenger was hospitalized in stable condition. The crash remains under investigation.
One person declined to be transported by ambulance to the local hospital this afternoon following a rollover crash. Instead, a family member told medics that they would take the young male who apparently suffered minor injuries. Captain Kevin Klickner from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue spoke to our camera on scene.
He was driving down the highway, clipped the side of the road, ended up coming off the side of the road, and rolled his vehicle. He was able to extricate himself, getting out of the vehicle. He was complaining of minor injuries, assessment. It looks obviously like he was coming off the road sideways, ended up hitting the sign, hitting a mound there, and that may have been what actually made him roll over. We talked to his mom on the phone, and she wanted us to not transport him. She came and talked with him. He wasn't complaining of anything major, so she's going to take him to the hospital herself, and they ended up signing an AMA.
At the January 4th Board of County Commissioners meeting, Nye County Comptroller Savannah Rucker gave a presentation regarding the current and future financial condition of Nye County as related to the COVID-19 outbreak. And for Nye County, things are positive.
I just wanted to go over a couple of quick updates with the board. We did receive October's sales tax. It was received late in December, and we did see revenues received in excess of budget by 13.2%, which equates to $166,000 more than we budgeted, it's great. All prior months of sales in this fiscal year have exceeded what we budgeted for consolidated tax. For our new commissioner, Jabor, consolidated tax includes all sales tax, liquor tax, sin tax, etc. So overall, we've been outperforming what we budgeted for consolidated tax, which was one of the largest factors when we were discussing our budget for fiscal 21. We thought that COVID would have much more of an impact than it has. So that's been positive. Consolidated tax through the entire fiscal year is $517,000 in excess of what we initially budgeted, which is a good indication that Nye County has a somewhat of a buffer from COVID-19 economic impacts Vegas has been hit pretty hard, and some of the other parts of our state has been hit pretty hard, but Nye County seems to have a little bit of a shelter from the overall economic impact.
We'll have more News 25 coming right up.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back, and thanks for being with us this evening. Janet Yellen's confirmation hearing starts January 19th. GM's latest announcement sends the company's stock to a new record high, and two major cruise lines say they won't sail until at least April.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping your news on Capitol Hill, the Senate Finance Committee has set the date of January 19th to begin confirmation hearings on Janet Yellen's nomination to become Treasury Secretary. General Motors is working on electric vans and flying cars. GM CEO Mary Barra revealed the high-flying plan at the Consumer Electronics Show this week. The news sent that stock soaring to a new record high. The high seas will be empty for a while longer. Royal Caribbean and Carnival Corp will be delaying cruise operations through April out of concern about the surge in coronavirus. And the big loss in Vegas, Sheldon Adelson, the billionaire who served as CEO and chairman of Las Vegas Sands, passed away Monday at the age of 87.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks, Angela. Well, some military veterans are finding a new way to bond through off-road racing, and several drivers from the group called Desert Vets Racing took part in the 4 WP Desert Showdown this past weekend here in Pahrump.
Desert Vets Racing was started by our chapter president, Mike Pascarella. He's a Navy veteran. He was always an off-road enthusiast, so he said, you know what, this really helps me decompress. It helps me fight the demons, if you will. So he started it, and then he started inviting more people out and that's what we do. So what we call it is adrenaline therapy. It helps. It's that family bond, and then we bind that with the racing aspect of it. So that's where we came up. Well, he did with Desert Vets Racing.
Racing is what we use as an excuse to gather. Support network, family. And we just come out here and have fun. Let the life go for a little bit.
It's one of those things that gets your heart pumping and it makes you feel like there's a reason to live again. Yeah. So that's why we use adrenaline therapy so much for veterans when they come back from war. It's something that just gets your heart going. You're ripping through the dirt, you're going through the rocks, and you're just like, whoa, I have full control. Yeah. And it's just really, really empowering for those people.
Like if you're a veteran, I could talk to you about things I couldn't talk to my wife, my sister, my brother, my doctor. Because we can talk to each other on an even playing field, and you have things in your life, I have things in my life, and we tend to be able to help each other out, and that's where the therapy part comes in without actually having a degree or anything like that. It's just that we bond and we can talk, shop, and you were in the Marine Corps, I was in the Marine Corps, you're Navy, I'm Army, it doesn't matter, we're all vets, and that's where that camaraderie and that it drops the defenses.
A couple hundred vets have been in this car racing it.
And I'm one of those, so I found out about them, reached out, went down. I think I showed up the first time for a car, like maintenance rebuild. And then the next time I showed up, it was at an actual race, and they put me in the co-driver's seat. I'm like, cool, tell us when to turn left, tell us when to turn right. So, and then been part of the family ever since.
Are you hooked?
I am. Yeah. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yes,
I'm out here helping chase for the race. A chaser is basically somebody that follows along the race course. We have a couple different pits, and we make sure that the vehicle is getting from pit to pit. We get tools, we get parts, and we keep them going through the course.
My youngest son, Chris, is a Navy vet. So this is close to home for me.
Yeah.
These guys spend everything off their dime. They all work for a living very hard. It is not cheap to race. It is a very expensive hobby.
It is.
I'm very fortunate that I make a good living to where I am more than happy to help these guys out with everything they can to make their lives, and especially the safety when they're out there racing, a lot better.
We've got more News 25 coming right up. Stick around.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back to News 25. District Attorney Chris Arabia recently celebrated the midway point of his term. News 25 spoke with him about a new initiative in the DA's office to investigate and prosecute corruption cases.
I have a new initiative. It's an informal initiative, but it's one that I'm very excited about. We've been able to set things up so that we have one deputy who is going to focus on corruption cases and is going to be kind of our contact point and is going to handle the corruption cases. It's an attorney with a good blend of experience who is certainly up to the task. And we have several corruption-related cases that are in various stages of the pipeline. And that is an area that we're going to focus on moving forward, because I think the people of Nye County deserve that, and they deserve to have a system where corruption is not tolerated. And they're very difficult cases to prosecute, but we are committed to making our best effort on that for everyone. I think it's going to be an interesting year around the courthouse, and we'll just have to see what that specifically entails. But I want to make sure that that it is a priority and that we try to minimize it and minimize its pervasiveness. And especially with everything going on in the country right now, the last thing we need is more things that would lessen our confidence in our institutions. And I'm just me in Nye County. This is my home, and this is where I can make an impact, and that's what I'm going to do over the next 2 years. We have the Hinrichs case where the allegation is that about $100,000 was stolen from the juvenile probation office, and that case is sort of in limbo. That's another thing. The regular challenges are what they are, but then we had the pandemic. So there's that case, and it's sort of, like I said, in limbo, but we're not letting go of that one. And then one of the other ones is the private well owners case, which involved some people who are kind of active in politics, and they were accused of basically embezzling or misappropriating about $3,000 by mislabeling it and misleading the membership of the organization. And that's the sort of thing that we just have to take a stand against it. With those two, and there's some other stuff in the pipeline that I can't get into right now, but like I said, it's going to be an interesting year.
Well, many of us have resolutions to exercise more in the new year, but one Ohio woman is motivated beyond burning calories. Every time she hops on her bike, she pedals to keep Parkinson's disease at bay. Erica Foreman has more.
Exercise is medicine for 62-year-old Sally Terrell.
I've always stayed committed to exercise and committed to doing what I can to keep the tremors away.
Sally has Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological disorder causing tremors on her right side. She manages her symptoms with medicine and a stationary bike.
I think this exercise program has really helped keep the symptoms at bay, which I hope keeps the progression down slower.
Previous Cleveland Clinic research shows riding a tandem bike in the lab for 8 weeks improved Parkinson's symptoms in the short term. Sally is part of a second trial, using a stationary bike at home for a year. She rides at least 3 times a week and wears a sensor so researchers can monitor her activity and function.
We're looking at precise measures of motor function, walking, balance, postural instability. And then also, very importantly, the cognitive aspects.
The goal of the study is to understand how long-term, high-intensity exercise may slow progression of the disease.
If someone is pedaling at a relatively high rate, the change in brain function looks very similar to the change that you see after you give someone anti-Parkinsonian medication.
Currently, no medicine or surgery has been effective in slowing Parkinson's disease. Dr. Alberts hopes results provide patients with an exercise prescription.
By gathering all of the information over the course of this trial, we can now help a neurologist say, you're a 61-year-old female, you've had Parkinson's for 2 years, you should pedal at 70 RPMs, 60% of your heart rate reserve 3 times a week, and this is how we think the disease will be slowed.
It helps me and it helps others. I think that I always want to be a part of trying to help medicine to go forward, and if I can do anything to help others with this disease as well as myself, I'm all for it.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Thanks, Erica. Well, the study is the first long-term research trial looking into the potential for aerobic exercise to slow progression of Parkinson's disease. The study is currently in its second of 5 years.
It's time once again to meet a great pet awaiting their forever home. For today's Save a Pet, Darby O'Donnell joins us from Desert Haven Animal Society, where she introduces us to a very energetic terrier mix named Black Diamond.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Black Diamond. Black Diamond is actually owner surrender. He is a 2-year-old terrier mix. He was surrendered because he has a lot of energy. He tends to chase some cats and birds, and he was on a farm and he liked to try and herd the animals. He is a terrier mix, so he needs a lot of exercise and playing. So he needs to be in a home that either has a yard or someone who wants to go and take him on walks on a daily basis, because he would definitely not do well in a small environment that doesn't have a lot of potential for exercise. If you want to come and see Black Diamond or any of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, please give them a call ahead of time to make an appointment, 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, and this is the view outside the studios. We got clouds, not a lot of wind, no rain expected, but oh man, we got some stuff coming up Monday and Tuesday you're definitely going to know about, and we'll tell you all about it when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, and this is your Wednesday report. Hey, you made it all the way to Hump Day. Good for you. Good for America. Good for Fernley. You're looking at 63 degrees for a high today. 31 for a low. Out in Fallon, 64 degrees was where you topped out. 28 will be your low end tonight. And in Carson City, you can expect 59 degrees was a high. It'll get colder. It'll get down to about 30. But check out Tonopah, 55 degrees for a high today. 23 for a low. Downright cold. You get the Downright Cold Award. Hooray! Goldfield, you're looking at 56 degrees for a high. 25 for a low. In Beatty, 69 degrees, feeling seasonably nice. 39 for a low tonight. Out in Amargosa, 67 was your high today. 41 for a low. And in Las Vegas, all the way up to room temperature, 65. Way to go. And 43 will be your low tonight. Death Valley, 72 degrees and drops 20 degrees into the evening to 52 tonight. And here in the Paradise Pahrump, well, we're looking at 61 degrees currently as our temperature got all the way up to 66 today, which seemed pretty nice. Winds out of the west at 5 miles per hour. A little bit of humidity, little fluffy clouds going fluffy, fluffy. There you go. Sun rose this morning at 6:54 a.m. and set this evening just a scant while ago, 4:51 p.m. We'll get down to about 41 degrees for a low end tonight. Pretty nice, actually. Winds out of the northeast 5 miles per hour. 38% humidity, giving us lots of clouds. Look at this, clouds. Okay, then Sunday's a perfect clear sky day. Then check out Monday, Tuesday. Oh, Lord, it's going to be windy. 20-mile-an-hour winds from the north and northeast Monday and Tuesday, clearing out all those clouds and giving us sunshiny weather, but also dropping our high temperatures from the low 70s up into the high 50s. So that's not super great, but, forewarned is forearmed. Enjoy the heck out of Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, I think, here in the Paradise Pahrump. All right, let's go back to the desk. It's Missy and Deanna.
Thanks, John. Well, everybody's been asking about the vaccines, and we know that we got an update from our governor about what's happening with the tiers, and that there's really no tiers. It's called
lanes. They're doing lanes and
things like that. And so Southern Nevada Health District has opened up some days in Las Vegas, and that is off of Southern Nevada, and that is on Southern Nevada Health District's website. Some of them you need to make an appointment at Cashman Center. They're 7 days a week. Where you can get your vaccination from 70 years and above. So, of course, first responders and everybody that is in that category. Here in Nye County, We haven't announced where the vaccinations are happening as of yet, but we'll keep you posted. On nyecounty.net, you can sign up on a survey for your vaccination so that they can call you. I'm sure that we'll be finding out more in the coming days as to what is happening there, but they are starting in Southern Nevada here in Las Vegas on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So you can find out more by going to Southern Nevada Health District's website.
All right.
I'm Deanna.
I'm Missy. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night.
Good night.